more.
It is unacceptable that inefficient and outdated processes are leading to bill increases.
He says energy costs for people in Maryland and Virginia have increased
from 23% to 40% over the last 5 years.
More announced Exelon's donating $19 million to help income-eligible people pay their bills. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
A federal judge in California has ordered President Trump to return control of the California National Guard to Governor Gavin Newsom, ruling the president's takeover was illegal and exceeded his authority. The federal appeals court panel soon put that order on pause. The two sides will hash it out at a hearing on Tuesday. The order does not apply to the Marines deployed to Los Angeles. He may not be a Maryland man, but Kilmar Abrigo Garcia may find out today whether he can return there to await his federal trial.
He was recently returned to the U.S. from a prison in his native El Salvador to face human trafficking charges. Prosecutors allege Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13 and has helped smuggle undocumented immigrants into the U.S. Defense lawyers are expected to argue that Abrego Garcia is not a threat and should be released. The hearing is set for this morning in Nashville. Protests are expected. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A Germantown man's in custody after he refused to cooperate with two off-duty Montgomery County police officers who were working security duty at the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School in Rockville Thursday. Police say 38-year-old Joseph Abdallah ignored the officer's direction as he drove through the school parking lot at dismissal time, driving through traffic cones and entering lanes with oncoming vehicles. Police tried to remove Abdallah from his car, but he refused and became combative before he was taken into custody. He's now facing assault and resisting arrest charges. Data centers bring in big money for Loudoun County, but the region cannot find enough electricity to keep them running.
Dominion Energy said that all data centers over 100 megawatts can expect to have their time to have full power moved from 3 to 4 years to 4 to 7 years.
Supervisor Michael Turner, already a data center critic, now hardening his stance.
This is reality, and you can bet from now on, I'm going to take this reality into serious consideration anytime an application for a new data center comes before this board.
Loudoun already home to 200 data centers. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Checking your money, the Dow futures are down 431 points at this hour. NASDAQ down 283. Up next, traffic and weather on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Sponsored by Rumble. Join millions who trust Rumble's top live streaming personalities to break down the news that matters in real time. Miss the live stream? Catch the full video replay on demand with zero censorship. Download the Rumble app from your Apple Play or Google Play store today and choose from thousands of creators covering everything from financial markets to daily events and more. Choose an open internet and free expression. Choose Rumble.com today.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
WMAL traffic and weather. Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Outer loop into New Carrollton. Still watch for some of the volume delays approaching the Baltimore-Washington Parkway. We had the incident in the right lane. They were trying to clear that to the shoulder. Outer loop, still a bit of volume around to Georgia Avenue. Fairfax, the crash is on Main Street at Burke Station Road. That's slowing in each direction. Follow police there. And the big traffic story along the National Mall with the many closures in preparation for tomorrow's military parade already in place. Getting downtown, Metro Rail, your best option. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Hot and humid to round out the week. High temperatures on either side of 90 degrees. We do have a risk of showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon and especially this evening. We do have rain chances in the forecast tomorrow with highs in the low 80s, only in the low 70s Sunday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
78 now at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Just a little bit stitious. And today, particularly if you're a senior leader in the Iranian regime, it's Friday the 13th for you. If you're here in the United States, it depends on your proximity to the Democrat Party, because you see this idiot, he's not even elected, this unelected Democrat from California violently attacking more federal agents. And then, of course, he's the victim in the story, because when a Democrat attacks you, if you punch him in the nose, that's where the violence begins, when he gets punched in the nose. Not when he attacks you, not when he's firebombing your Jewish governor or setting Holocaust survivors on fire in Colorado, which seems an improbable place for that sort of thing to happen. But put enough Democrats in one place, they'll bring in Egyptian illegal aliens to set Holocaust survivors on fire. I know. Very happy, very good Friday to you, and welcome back once again. We remain at 888-630-9625. Some big stuff going on in the world. The airstrikes in Iran, it appears that Israel has, the cork has popped. The balloon has gone up. Fun headline at the Fox News Channel. Israel says it tricked Iranian Air Force leaders into meeting before deadly strikes. Hey, you guys, why don't y'all stand over here? No, a little further. There's a couple more to stand right. Yeah, go. Okay. Yeah, go into that room. Close the door. We're gonna have a meeting. And then there's a satellite guided bomb that comes in your Iranian yin yang, and things don't go very well from that point on. The head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, which most in the media call the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, because they're wrong about everything that they don't lie about. Even when they try to be correct, they're wrong. They don't know what they're talking. But it's the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, and their I was going to say current leader, but he's no longer their current leader, because he got all blown up because. The Iranians, very smart people, a great history for the Persian people. The Israelis, they want to survive. And the psychopaths in Tehran, who have been nurtured and fueled and funded by Barack Hussein Obama and Joe Biden and the Democrats, billions and billions. Amazing stuff going on in the world. Is it World War III? No, because we've already had World War III. So wait, is it World War IV? You get argued because, the war on radical Islam, which war is that? They're planning on waging war for the next 1,000 years, and that's their plan. The Chinese communists, they've got a 100-year plan to take over the world. And the Democrats, they're not on our side. They're on the side of Tehran and the Ayatollahs. They're on the side of the communist Chinese and their 100-year takeover. Turns out the Democrat Party's anti-American and violent, too. You see this unelected Democrat from California. Where do they get these unelected people with such violence in their hearts? This Alex Padilla. It's amazing how many people had never heard of California's senator, a U.S. senator from California. And this guy, he's just completely unknown. Now, you had FBI, you got, I don't know who's providing, is it Secret Service providing personal security to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, but she was being attacked at a press conference yesterday by a lunatic who's yelling and charging the podium. And he's screaming, "Oh, you can't do that to me. I'm a U.S. senator. It's like nobody would recognize you. The U.S. Capitol Police wouldn't be able to pick you out of a lineup, you irrelevant Sacagawea. But this Alex Padilla guy, turns out he's a victim. After he attacks you, he's the victim because the communists always do this, and that means the Democrat Party. They always do this. So he attacks a woman, which would be sexist if it were a Republican senator attacking a woman who's the cabinet secretary to a Democrat president and secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, where the threat matrix is very high. And he attacks her while yelling like a lunatic. And when federal law enforcement intervened, got in his way, he naturally assaulted them. And they dragged him outside of the room where the press conference was being held. He's not a member of the news media. He didn't have a press credential. He did not have his lapel pin on, indicating that he's a member of Congress, that he's a U.S. senator. Didn't have the lapel pin on. He's yelling and barking. And I think he's an illegal alien senator. You know, the Democrats love illegal aliens. And it turns out I looked him up, Alex Padilla. Both of his parents came from merry old Mexico. Yay, Riba, came from Mexico. And that makes him a victim when he violently attacks a cabinet secretary. And the federal police have to wrestle him to the ground, which they did. And they put the cuffs on him. It's amazing he wasn't shot with a sniper's rifle. It could have been a one-shot, one-kill thing. But it turns out he's not even elected. You remember when they were screaming and yelling about Elon Musk with all this power, and he wasn't even elected, which, you know, includes every cabinet secretary we've ever had in the history of the United States, not elected individually. But never mind that. The Democrats have a lot of mental issues, lots and lots. It's not just their genitals and their sexual orientation. And it's not just that. It's everything else, too. They're mental, and they're violent. And they're not on the side of the good guys. No matter where you look, they're anti-Israel, pro-Iran. And we got this, you know, Barack Obama, his ridiculous deal, which they gave the ridiculous name, the JCPOA, because only a government screw in Washington could come up with a non-treaty and call it the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. And then say, I know, let's abbreviate it, and we'll call it the JCPOA. Oh, that's real good. You're so fired. I get the federal cops to come in and drag you out of that room, too. Throw you to the ground, cuff you, maybe a taser. I need to see more tasers and more nightsticks, I think. Officer, may I recommend the use of a nightstick? Because the senator he took Kamala Harris's place when she stepped down to amazingly and incredibly become the vice president of the United States, a heartbeat away from Joe Biden, no less, who was barely a heartbeat away himself. And so Kristi Noem, violently attacked by a Democrat senator, not elected. He took Kamala Harris's Senate seat in California when she ascended to the vice presidency. And Padilla was appointed to that Senate seat by hair gel, by Gavin Newsom in California, who had already appointed him to be Attorney General of the state of California. And these are very corrupt people, extremely. They're the left. They're not liberals at all. Again, they're planning on, I think, are they planning on attacking the military parade? And it's the 250th anniversary, the 250th birthday of the United States Army tomorrow. And that makes the Democrats very angry. And they're violently, criminally insane, and they love mob violence because they're too cowardly to act alone. Except occasionally, like when you shoot at Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania, that's when they act alone. When you show up to shoot Congressman Steve Scalise at a baseball field in Alexandria, Virginia, then the Democrats show up alone. Suicide attacks, they show up alone. Self-immolations at the Israeli embassy. The Democrat Party is very unwell. They need help. I'm not here to help them. That's not my role. And who was it? It was David Hogg that kept using the word roll yesterday. Roll, or not R-O-L-L, but R-O-L-E. Yeah, my role in this role is my role, and the role ought to be the Democrats. They're not very good with the English language either. But we've got a lot of, honestly, the Israel raiding the nuclear facilities in the Islamic Republic of Iran, a huge, gigantic story. The Iranians then sent, I guess, about 100 drones to attack Israel in return, and some interesting things going on there. Even Jordan, headed by King Abdullah II, even Jordan was knocking down the Iranian drones headed toward Israel. Wait a minute. What's going on there? Aren't they supposed to be terrorists too? But Jordan and King Abdullah, not the bad guys in here, because they know that Iran is the bad guy in the neighborhood. They know that Iran is the villain and that Israel is not. Even King Abdullah II in Jordan knows that. Kind of remarkable stuff. And I've got to tell you, we've got, and then this idiot, unelected. I'm going to keep calling him unelected. You know, the Democrats, their psychosexual obsession with Elon Musk being unelected, like every cabinet secretary ever. And here comes this unelected senator appointed California by Gavin Newsom, no less, who is an atrocity and should probably be imprisoned for the rest of his natural life, at least. Remarkable stuff. But we got this violence more. And, you know, we had the Democrat member of the House of Representatives just charged earlier this week with assaulting federal officers, too, while she was trying to liberate illegal aliens. And Alex Padilla, the Democrat senator, he was there to fight on behalf of illegal aliens. His parents came from Mexico legally, I believe. But now they love, if it's illegal, the Democrats like it more. They want more illegal. You get more Democrats, you get more murder. More Democrats, more gang violence. More Democrats, more mob street violence, even if they're not gangs from Venezuela and El Salvador and cartel members from Mexico that the Democrats are bringing into the country by the millions. Just amazing, amazing stuff. And I got it. And the news media, then there's the news media, which couldn't be more ridiculous, of course. And they might as well be jihadis. Because they're just the mainstream of the Democrat Party, and they're very, very unwell. But let me share a few of the headlines I have to share with you today. Uncharted territory, in quotation marks. Political world shocked by footage of federal agents assaulting senator. That's the radical extremists at Mediaite, mainstream left-wing stuff. And actually, that's the opposite of the truth. The senator assaulted the federal law enforcement while he was given the bum's rush to the podium, where the woman is sexist, misogynist, pig, racist, Mr. Macho Man with his Mexico background. Did he have what do they call those? You know, caracas? Yeah, maracas. Yeah, maracas. Did he have maracas when he was? Because, you know, his heritage is more important than being American. He's not much of an American. He's basically a communist and a Mexican bomb-throwing agitator like so many of the Democrats. But Alex Padilla, he should have been tased and dragged away face down and probably sent to Gitmo. Probably Gitmo for him. But uncharted territory, political world shocked the left wing, the firebombing, anti-Semite, Hamas-loving Democrat Party, shocked by footage of federal agents assaulting senator. Again, opposite of the truth, the senator assaulted the federal agents. He should be charged accordingly, just like the idiot Democrat member of the House that assaulted federal agents in New Jersey while she was apparently trying to do like a Houthi-style Yemen breakout of the prison. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, did you see there was an escape, you know, where the idiot mayor of Newark and the idiot Democrat member of Congress assaulted police officers and then became the victims. That detention facility in New Jersey, there was a riot there yesterday, and there was an escape of illegal aliens because the Democrat Party is insane, and they're trying to destroy the United States of America. But there was a breakout there. Just amazing. And it's all the Democrats' fault. It's 100% the Democrats' fault. Make no mistake. And Gavin Newsom, very, very angry mental dwarf. Can you say dwarf? Gavin Newsom says Trump will be relieved of his command of the National Guard in California. These guys are they're going to fire on Fort Sumter. They're going to start wearing gray uniforms again very soon, just like they did during the Civil War when they were the Confederate States of America. They're no better now. Isn't that amazing? Now, the riots going on in L.A. on PBS, the Panhandler Broadcasting System, propaganda for the Democrat Party funded by the taxpayer like in communist countries. PBS reports the riots in L.A. are, listen to this now, almost festival-like, and kind of like the festival in Munich in 1933, you bunch of fascists, but never mind that. I got a great Florida sheriff for you. He speaks as every sheriff in America should speak. A friend of mine lives in that county where the sheriff is the sheriff, and it's great. And he was texting me about him this morning. Wonderful stuff. Israel acting against the nuclear ambitions of Iran, which were fueled and funded by Barack Hussein Obama and Boltneck Kerry, John Kerry. The Democrats with their No Kings protests, the media lying like CNN lying. Millions expected demonstrators. Demonstrators means rioters and arsonists, but they use euphemisms at CNN. No Kings protest for the military parade tomorrow. Trump is getting a military parade. Always lie in the headline when you're going to lie in the body of the story. And millions of expected demonstrators. I sure hope there are no self-immolations by the Democrats. Just kidding. We're at 888-630-9625.
May I suggest using a nightstick, officer? Yeah!
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. What's giving us delays now? Road work. Inner loop as you cross the American Legion Bridge. They already have the right lane coned off. We're tracking delays out of Tyson's before the toll road. Outer loop into New Carrollton. Just some residual delays. Earlier incident near the BW Parkway. That's been cleared. No late problems getting down to the Beltway 95, 29, or 270. Southbound 95 heavy into Woodbridge and again into Dumfries. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny this afternoon with showers and thunderstorms likely, a high of 89. Showers and thunderstorms tonight, low 70.
Kidney disease is devastating the Black community. We're more likely to have diabetes and high blood pressure, the leading causes of kidney disease. We're more likely to be on dialysis and less likely to get a kidney transplant. I'm Dr. Silas Norman. As a kidney transplant physician, I'm telling you that kidney failure is often preventable. Talk to your doctor. Get your kidneys checked, please.
We're the American Kidney Fund. We believe in kidney health for all. Visit kidneyhealthforall.org.
When it comes to Father's Day, some things never change. Dads want steak. And there's still time to deliver uncompromising quality and flavor with delicious gifts from Omaha Steaks. Plus, get an extra $35 off with code THANKSDAD when you shop omahasteaks.com today. We know being your dad means he already has everything he could want. But just picture the look on his face when he sees those extra-aged USDA-certified tender steaks, juicy air-chilled chicken, beefy burgers, and more. With carefully curated gift packages from America's original butcher, it's never been easier to show everyone why you're dad's favorite. And every bite is 100% guaranteed to bring a thrill to the king of the grill. Hurry, there's still time to give dad something incredible for Father's Day. Shop now at omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with code THANKSDAD. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Hear that? That's another person discovering today's hepatitis C medicines have cure rates of 95% or higher, and some are just one pill daily. Hep C medicines are also covered by most health insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, so qualified patients may pay as little as $5 per copay. Stop waiting and get your Hep C cured. What a great idea! To learn more, visit treathepcnow.com.
Dinner time. It's more than just a meal. It's when work comes to a halt, where macaroni masterpieces are made and the little moments turn into lasting memories. With the Blue Cash Preferred card, you can get 6% cash back at U.S. supermarkets. So you can bring home the flavors that bring everyone together. We did say everyone. Make the special moments even more rewarding. Learn more at americanexpress.com/explore-BCP. Terms and cashback cap apply with Blue Cash Preferred.
Friday on the Derek Hunter Show, California's senator makes a fool out of himself in the national press and becomes a hero to the left. We'll talk about it at 3 o'clock on WMAL.
All right, let us go now to the telephones and talk to the great human beings, the people. Let's go to Steve, calling from Jerusalem, Israel. Stephen, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm great, Steve. What do you say?
Okay. Well, I'm in Jerusalem and
in a shelter.
Let's see. Well, yeah, I got a shelter in my apartment. It was just a little bit before 4 a.m. The sirens go off. We get up, we go in the shelter room, and then something strange happens. Usually the sirens go for, if it's something that was intercepted, the siren will go off for like a minute and a half. And then you stay in the room for 10 minutes. This time the siren went off just for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, what was that? And turned on an iPad, got on Israeli news, and it was a warning that we were attacking Iran to stay close near a shelter. Nothing's coming in, but staying close. Now, of course, now I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's on the news. That's the beginning of the day. And it's we just watch it happen. I went to the Western Wall at 6 a.m. It was fairly normal. And then about 7 a.m., they closed it, and people had to leave. It wasn't an emergency or anything like that. It was just precaution. Things were very quiet. The feeling on the street is amongst the Israelis is we've waited 25 years for this. Everybody's ready. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Close to home, streets are quiet. And, when watching the news and while I was on hold, I was just thinking, they showed the picture of the top guys in Iran that were eliminated. And I was looking at them and I said,
Hey, tell you what, Steve, can you hang on for me for a couple of minutes? I got questions for you.
This is the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. It's road work now set up on the Beltway Inner Loop. You come out of Virginia, cross the American Legion Bridge. It's the right lane that's blocked. Jam traffic begins just after Route 7, pushing through Tyson's. Volume delays each direction on the freeway between the 14th Street Bridge and the 3rd Street Tunnel. No access to Main Avenue, the 12th Street Expressway, or Lower 14th Street. All those closures into town in preparation for tomorrow's military parade. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, that WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny this afternoon with showers and thunderstorms likely, a high of 89. Showers and thunderstorms tonight, low 70.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here.
We got a lot going on today. I got a lot to share with you today. And right now, I want to go back to Steve calling us from Jerusalem in Israel, where overnight, everyone, I was also texting with my another friend who was there, Matthew Foldy, and is still there now. I've been texting with him last night and this morning. And he spent a good part of the evening in a bunker, I know. And Steve, thanks for hanging in there, buddy. And in Jerusalem, and Steve, I think that's amazing. You went to the Western Wall this morning. An amazing place to be. And tell me,
Friday morning routine.
Is that right? It's part of your Friday Shabbat Shalom. That is that's amazing. You are living in Jerusalem. It's your Friday morning routine, going to the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall. That's pretty amazing stuff. So and it was very early this morning. It was middle of the night, and Iran is 30 minutes later than Israel. They don't have a 1 hour time zone change. They have a 30-minute time zone change from Israel to Iran, later in Iran. And so last night, early this morning, your time, the air raid alarms went off, the sirens went off, and people were instructed to head to bunkers and shelters because the assumption is Iran is going to start attacking Israel, right?
No. This one was, that's the way it normally is when there's an incoming rocket. When there's an incoming rocket or a Houthi missile, the siren goes off. It goes off for about a minute and a half, and you stay in the bunker, you stay in your bunker or your safe room for 10 minutes in protection for the debris falling that it was shot out. If the siren stops, then the threat has been eliminated, and you're just going inside to become for safety for the falling debris. Now, what happened last night is the siren went off for 30 seconds, and that was very unusual. I mean, you give us time to get in, we get in there and stop what's going on. So I turn the news on and say, listen, there's no incoming threat. What this is a warning to you. We're attacking Iran. You need to make sure that you're close to a room in case there's a retaliation. And from then on, you know what went down. Slowly but surely things developed. It was an incredible mission when you look at it and the things that are starting to come out, that there was drones smuggled and ready for launch inside Iran. And there was a fake setup to get all these leaders in one place, which they're so dumb because that's what they did with Hezbollah.
Right.
They faked them out. And it's like I was saying, the feeling on the street is, we're ready for it. We know it's coming. We know what to do. Everybody, there's no panic or anything. It's very quiet. And we're just waiting. Things are canceled, things are closed, and we're just waiting. There's confidence in the IDF. There's confidence in the defense system. Will something get through? I don't know. Listen, if you remember what Saddam Hussein was firing at us, okay, with these Scud missiles that everybody thought here had chemical weapons, and we ended up going through it. And everybody feels that way this year. That it's about time. Personally, I think this is the part of the whole change in the Middle East. I want to say it out loud. This can bring the regime down. If I would have told you 6 months ago Saddam Hussein's Assad's going to fall, you didn't know he's not. He's got Iran backing them. They hit them so hard. Where are the missiles? And now they're threatening to close the shipping lanes for oil. That's all they got.
Well, Israel, and to a much lesser extent, but Israel primarily has been putting a beating on Hezbollah, a proxy of Iran in Lebanon, been putting a beating on the Houthis, proxy of Iran in Yemen, and of course Hamas, which, underneath your feet, the people that Israel's been providing with clean water and electricity and health care and everything else. And then to say they bite the hand that feeds them would be generous understatement. And so Iran has to feel weakened in the region and in their jihad against the very existence of the state of Israel. And now, and their goal here all along, and with the help of Barack Obama and John Kerry, their goal all along has been to build an arsenal of nuclear weapons. You do that by spinning centrifuges and enriching uranium and advancing your ballistic missile program, all of which was allowed under this so-called JCPOA, the ridiculous, outrageous deal that Barack Obama and John Kerry put together. Have I said anything that's not 100% accurate yet, Steve?
You know, I don't know who was in bed with who, but they had a lot of people in the same room in that era. It was absolutely ridiculous. I remember when it happened. I remember seeing the pallets of cash being loaded on the plane.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous. And this was the cause of it. I will tell you one thing. 25 years ago, when I was in my synagogue, and they had one of these forums, and they had the ambassador to Israel and a couple of heavyweights that are think tanks that are well known. And I asked the question, little dumb me asked the question, were they ready for 3 wars? Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iran. I said, yeah, we're ready, no problem. But you know what's interesting about this? The way that this happened. Usually it was like, listen, when we go after the head of the snake, these plans took years, and they were in place, and they were dormant for a long time, some of these things. How do you get a drone? How do you get an Israeli drone inside Iran, across the street from the guy's apartment? Okay, right. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of meticulous planning, meticulous espionage, and all of that, spying, whatever it is. But it's taken a long time to get there, and now that we're here, but the whole thing and the concern was at that time, what are we going to do with the proxies? So this happened the other way around.
Right.
We took the proxies out first.
Right.
So there was no proxy threat, which, you know what, I personally, following this thing from all my life, never thought about it like that. You know, we're going to take out Iran, and then everything will be everything. But that was the fear. When we go take out Iran, then we got to deal with all this stuff. But all this stuff is almost moot now, and that's the divine aspect of the Holy Land. Okay, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. I absolutely do. The New York Times is very upset today. Israel killed Iran's top chain of command in one night. The Israeli strike killed at least 3 of Iran's top military commanders, as well as nuclear scientists, plural, and other leadership figures. And this is great. The head of the IRGC, of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, killed. If you're a nuclear scientist and the employee of the Ayatollah in Tehran, maybe you should get a job at Home Depot or something instead, because that's not a very good job and not a very safe job to have. But it has been quite remarkable. And again, hit him in the middle of the night in Iran, right? So it's not like everybody, they didn't have the secretaries and the housewives sitting at their desks at these nuclear facilities, just the bad guys that are there overnight, and hitting the physical facilities that the Democrats and Barack Obama have been so thrilled to provide funding to. And I got to tell you, Barack Obama, I'm reminded quite frequently of the fact that he's not on our side, and he was never on our side. And if you're not on Israel's side, you're not on the side of civilization. And that means you're not on our side either. And the Democrat Party, Steve, I got it to the Democrat Party in the United States of America is a disgrace to civilization itself.
The bad guy, the thief, they're going to continue to what they do until they get caught. Eventually, they're going to get caught. And like Netanyahu said, believe Iran when they say they want to eliminate Israel. And I'm going to say to them, to eat your own words, believe Netanyahu when he says that nowhere is out of our reach. And we've proven it time and time and time again. And every time they pull off a mission like that, it blows away the last mission.
Yeah.
Okay. The details aren't even, I was just amazed. I mean, the equipment that they had to set this all up, to get these guys all in one room, it was brilliant. The Netanyahu faked the vacation. If you called a couple of days ago, if you called his office, he's on vacation. I don't know what's going to happen. Someone's supposed to get married Sunday. And I'll tell you one other thing. My real career is retail in the inner city. And in the black neighborhood, if you want to know what's going on the scoop on the street, you go to the barbershop. They got it all. Okay. So Thursday, I got my hair cut deep inside of Jerusalem. Okay. And I'm like talking to my haircut. I'm like, so what's the deal? What's the deal? And this is Thursday. He goes, tomorrow. I said, really? I said, you know what? That makes sense. Friday, everybody's off, and it goes into Shabbat, so you have the whole 2 days in a row where all the citizens are close to home. And brilliant. I go to sleep, boom,
No kidding.
Like,
Wow.
I'm telling you, yeah, it's crazy. So the stupid, we kind of, everybody kind of felt it. The rhetoric was coming, and they weren't telling us, but now you hear it in my voice. A lot of people are confident. We feel good about it. Hopefully with God's help that, we're going to be okay. And, we'll see where this goes. But this is definitely not a one-off, I'll tell you that much.
Right. And we're actually expecting that, and I think I heard the word weeks today, that Israel should be expected to continue to strike targets for weeks. And part of that is what you're telegraphing to Iran, of course. And then they're scrambling today because their chief of staff, their military, the equivalent of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mohammed Bagheri, was killed in the strikes. They've got a lot of their senior leadership that has been, killed, and then hitting these nuclear sites, and there's a lot of enriched uranium at a number of these sites, and that creates issues potentially, at least for the Iranians. Not that they care about the human lives around their nuclear facilities, because they don't, but it could create a domestic political problem. And you're right, it would be very nice to have this regime toppled and have Iran. I actually encountered at Newsmax TV, met and spoke with the son of the Shah of Iran, of the late Shah of Iran. Reza Pahlavi was in Washington, and I encountered him. I actually met him once in Santa Barbara 35 years ago or something, but had a nice talk with him. And I don't know if the royal family is going to return to Iran, to power in Iran, but that would be preferable, obviously, by a long shot to what we have now, right?
Well, I don't know about that, because let me tell you something. I heard it, and you have to forgive me, it may not be right, because, my Hebrew's good, but when you say the Hebrew news, but and I haven't analyzed it, but the name of the operation, what's it called? Something Lion, Rings of Lion. So I think that's reference to the Iranian flag before Khomeini took over.
Rising Lion.
I haven't verified it.
Yeah, Rising Lion, the name of the operation.
Is the former Iranian flag have a lion on it?
I believe that it does. Just from memory, I believe that it does.
That's why they named it Rising Lion.
Because they'd like to see the royal family, the Reza Pahlavi's family, return to power.
Well, they'd like to see them go back to pre-1970. What was it?
79. 79. Yeah.
So that's.
My father was there as a news reporter when I was I was 19 years old, and my father was CBS news reporter, and he was there for all that activity. Came home with some headdresses. And it's an amazing. You live long enough, you see a lot of things going on in the world, and what we're watching now, all over the world, and the Middle East. I was texting with friends last night, and Newsmax friends, and a young woman texted, "Is this World War III?" And I said, "No, it's not World War III. This is the Middle East being the Middle East. It's Iran, and Iran having to be dealt with." And I said, I think that this is a positive development. Nuclear weapons in the hands of the Ayatollahs and the IRGC. They're guaranteed to be used first against Israel, certainly Tel Aviv and beyond, and Washington D.C. might be second. I've studied nuclear weapons and the effects that would be had in Washington D.C. and what we could see and what we could expect, and it's all because of Iran. It's not even because of Putin or the Chinese. It's because of Iran, and I just can't decide. I got to tell you, Steve, whether the biggest threat to world peace is Iran or the Democrat Party in the United States.
Well, I hear you, especially if they get into control, of legislation or anything like that. Then it could be a very dangerous place. Could you just imagine if Harris was president? Could you imagine?
Wow. I hadn't even had that frightening thought yet. Thank you for that. That's a great point. Steve?
Iran would be going nuclear weapon. They would have it now.
Well, that's true, because they'd be feeling it. They think it's like a critical race theory matter for them. not a matter of human life, war and peace, world peace. In fact, the media is attacking Donald Trump today because Israel struck Iran. It must be Trump's fault. Thank you, Steve. God bless you. And keep in touch with me, would you?
That old Beach Boys song, Bomberman. You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Road work is now set up on the Beltway, and that's what gives us big delays. Inner loop jammed out of Tyson's to cross the American Legion Bridge. Right lane is coned off. Outer loop slows to get you past River Road. Southbound 95 heavy into Woodbridge and again through Dale City.
A lot going on in the world. Democrats, jihadis, gang members. What's the difference? They all come together. Let us go to the telephones. Let's see. Wait, what? We have Mike the Lib. Mike the Lib is on the line, so we don't have to call the police and get a welfare check. Mike the Lib is here from Gainesville, Virginia. Mike the Lib, you're on the Chris Plant Show. Where have you been? Have you been in prison or something?
No, Chris. I've been taking my time. It's primary season, so I'm up here at the Haymarket Gainesville Library for primary voting.
Democrat, you're rooting for the Democrats and jihad?
No, we don't root for jihad, Chris. We believe in nonviolent protest.
All evidence to the contrary.
No, those are Trump supporters in LA, Chris. Those are all Trump supporters.
Those are all Trump supporters in LA that are rioting?
They're either active Trump supporters or inadvertent Trump supporters because they're all supporting Trump's mission. Yes.
Inadvertent. What is Trump's mission?
Inadvertent. His mission is to militarize the city, to take over as a fascist, just like he is. He's a fascist.
Oh, like Joe Biden when the National Guard took over the streets. They never listened because they never learned. This is how you never learn anything, Mike the Lib. Okay. The Democrats have been rioting and burning and looting our cities for years now, and St. George Floyd of fentanyl. And now they love illegal alien gang members and Democrat members.
We don't, Chris. Quit lying, Chris. Quit lying about that.
Well, what?
Okay, we agree
Garcia.
We agree you should get the criminals out, okay? But they were going after everyone, and basically being here illegal.
You mean
is not a criminal offense, okay? It's not a criminal offense.
Well, you
Chris.
just said it was illegal.
It's not a criminal offense. It's a civil penalty, okay?
It's
wake up.
Deportable. I should wake up. I'm the one who should wake up. Are you guys starting? Are you guys starting your? Listen,
it's not criminal, Chris.
You keep yelling the same thing over and over again. It is. I can just yell. It is criminal.
Republicans in their mind can understand that, okay?
You mean in their right mind?
They can understand that. Or any mind. Well, like Christine could not identify the senior senator from California.
Nobody else could either.
I think she gets a mental health check. Well, that Secret Service guy, she's fired for being stupid.
Really? You guys are like communists now. You realize that, don't you?
No. My goodness, he attacked the United States senator.
No, he's no.
The United States senator.
You need to stop talking. You just keep yelling the same thing over and over again like a lunatic. Are you firebombing Jews in your free time? Have you firebombed?
No, Chris.
Well, you just keep talking.
I don't believe in violent protests. I don't believe in violent protests.
I do because I watch them on television.
Only Trump supporters
you
do
should,
that.
You should watch the videos, and then you'd believe in violent protests. And it's all Democrats all the time. The Democrat Party is basically the Communist Party in the United States of America. It's a violent criminal enterprise, the Democrats. And that senator attacked a cabinet secretary, a woman, misogynist that he is, and had to be restrained.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. Iran's president says Israel is going to regret its stealth military strike on Iran's nuclear program overnight.
The mission included Mossad smuggling vehicles of weapons and drones into Iran long before the attack, setting up a drone base in Iran and activating the drones this morning to hit Iran's surface-to-air missiles. At the same time, the IDF deployed 200 aircraft, mainly fighter jets, to hit roughly 100 targets in Iran, all of this aimed at hitting the heart of Iran's nuclear program.
Fox News' Alex Hogan in Tel Aviv. We have a sad update to pass along concerning the man who climbed up a radio tower on the campus of American University Tuesday afternoon. D.C. police have confirmed to Fox 5 the man jumped to his death at 5:45 this morning, some 62 hours after he arrived there. Police had said the man was suffering a mental health crisis and they were willing to wait him out for as long as it took to come down. The man had told officers yesterday morning he was going to come down, but for whatever reason he never did. Police now conducting a formal death investigation. The man's identity has not been released. Prince George's County School Board met in closed session last night and worked out a deal to terminate Superintendent Millard House.
Did you discuss the termination of the superintendent at all?
Yeah, you can't talk about executive session is private and confidential.
But multiple sources confirmed to 7 News the board and Superintendent House reached an agreement for House to step down just one day after he defended his record.
Delivering results for our kids. I look this year specifically at a graduation rate increase.
The decision for him to step down comes after the teachers union voted no confidence in House last week.
7 News' Christian Flores. New County Executive Daisha Braveboy will appoint a new superintendent after she's sworn in next week. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin is fighting to keep an elite FBI training academy from leaving Quantico.
Youngkin says he spoke with FBI Director Kash Patel, who reassured him that Quantico will remain core to the FBI's training capabilities. The two talked after the Washington Post reported the FBI is planning to move the National Academy to Alabama. Youngkin says the Alabama facilities were built specifically for this specialized training. He writes on X, Quantico is the best place to train FBI agents because its facilities are uniquely designed for their training requirements. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Expect weather to be a factor in tomorrow's Army 250 parade downtown.
Some good news. Rain chances are trending down a little bit. Right now, though, I do see our highest chance for rain and storms heading into your Saturday evening. And tomorrow, similar to today, with the high humidity, any storms that develop could produce some of those downpours.
7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen. If you're headed downtown tomorrow, you cannot take an umbrella with a metal tip. No backpacks either, no folding chairs. Just keep all of that in mind. If you live in upper Northwest D.C., places like Chevy Chase, Friendship Heights, Tenleytown, Spring Valley, and the like, you're now under a boil water advisory. A power outage caused the loss of water pressure that impacted nearly 5,000 homes. It's prompted D.C. Water to issue the warning as a precaution against dangerous bacteria possibly entering the water flow. The advisory will be lifted once the water is tested to be safe, no sooner than late tonight. The Dow is down 617 points, NASDAQ down 180. Traffic and weather next.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
WMAL traffic and weather. Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Downtown Washington, in preparation for tomorrow's parade, the closures are in effect. If you must drive downtown, K Street will get you by east or westbound, or the southeast southwest freeway. The 3rd Street Tunnel will get you by north or southbound. But otherwise, most of the area between K Street and the freeway is going to be blocked off for the next couple of days. 95 on this Friday southbound is going to be heavy from Lorton down to 123, and then from the Prince William Parkway down to Triangle. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Hot and humid to round out the week. High temperatures on either side of 90 degrees. We do have a risk of showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon and especially this evening. We do have rain chances in the forecast tomorrow with highs in the low 80s, only in the low 70s Sunday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
Right now it is 81 in Annandale, 78 in Olney, 82 at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
That, of course, Benjamin, sometimes known as Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister of the state of Israel, acting in self-defense because the savages in Tehran, led by an Ayatollah, have promised to develop an arsenal of nuclear weapons and use them to wipe Israel off the map. And the Democrats in the United States chant, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." They've joined ISIS, the Democrat Party. They're not on the side of civilization. The Democrat Party, not the good guys. Not the good guys. Well, very happy Friday to you, and welcome back once again. We continue to be reached at 888-630-9625. Netanyahu, late last night, it was about 10:30, almost 10:30, when I saw the Israeli prime minister come on the television I was watching, and remarkable world in which we live. The Iranians, of course, enriching uranium, spinning centrifuges, because Barack Obama said, "Oh yeah, we'll let you enrich uranium. Sure, we'll let you spin centrifuges in secret underground locations because we trust you." Hussein trusted them. That was an incredibly stupid thing to do. And they sent Boltneck in there, the Democrats did, John Kerry, who frightens children even on Halloween. He doesn't have to dress up at all. He just says, and the kids run away, terrified on Halloween. But Hussein, the Democrat President Hussein, who promised the fundamental transformation of America, told us all we better teach our children Spanish because the left is planning on overrunning the United States of America with illegal alien gang members and criminals and lunatics. And the Democrat Party is not on the side of civilization. They're the left. Amazing stuff. And then Iran spinning centrifuges and secret locations. I got to tell you, I was talking to my best girl about this last night. 20 years ago, I was working in the Pentagon as a news guy, right, for what was then more or less a news organization. Now it's CNN. And I was briefed. You'd get briefings from the Joint Staff and Intelligence and the CIA, and you get briefings. And I was briefed, and some of us were briefed on the 20 years ago now, the nuclear facilities inside of Iran and how they bury them deep underground and put it. It's like, NORAD in Colorado, where you drive into the movie War Games, where you drive into a tunnel in a mountainside and go deep into the mountain. And Iran has been building their nuclear facilities deep underground and deep into the mountain. Multiple mountains with multiple nuclear facilities, because their goal is to, the sword of death, the sword of Islam, will chop the head off the great Satan, that's the United States of America, and the little Satan, that's Israel. And the Iranians, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and Qasem Soleimani, who had the whack put on him by Donald Trump in his first term as president of the United States. And the United States apparently not involved directly, militarily, perhaps providing intelligence and other support. But the Washington Post, Hatui, I spit on them. The headline on the front page above the fold on the left side: Israel launches attacks on Iran. No U.S. help. Rubio says Netanyahu cites nation's very survival for strikes. That's because the psychotic Islamists in Tehran have vowed very publicly and repeatedly for decades now that they will wipe Israel off the face of the map. And and they're the leading sponsors of terrorism in the world, anywhere in the world. It's radical Islamic terrorism, jihad. And the Democrats, they've been providing sustenance to the Iranians, who, by the way, are Caucasian. They're not even Arabs. Arabs are technically Caucasian. Indians are technically Caucasian. But the Iranians, Persians, are not only Caucasian, they're Aryan. In fact, the word Iran is derived from the word Aryan. And that's why the Democrats are settling up with them, because, they're like the Aryan Brotherhood, the Democrat Party. They're amazing, amazing people. But the strikes last night, kind of a big deal. And this nuclear facility at Natanz and locations in Tehran and Tabriz in the north, multiple locations being hit, more than 200 Israeli airplanes going into Iran, striking about 100 targets. And if you happen to see the movie, the remake of Top Gun, or the part 2 of Top Gun, not a remake, part 2, a sequel, and with Tom Cruise, right, flying F-18s now. And it's a fun movie with great flying scenes, I've got to say. My best girl and I went and saw it at the IMAX theater at the Udvar Hazy annex of the Air and Space Museum at Dulles Airport, and sat in the middle of the theater center seats. My best girl secured them, and we went in for that Top Gun movie, Top Gun Maverick, right? Incredible flying scenes, great flying scenes. But in the end, what I'm telling you here is that that movie is about hitting the nuclear facilities, in one nuclear facility in particular that I was briefed on 20 years ago at the Pentagon or at the CIA, wherever it was. And this is that strike. This is the times 10. This is the Top Gun Maverick strike against. They never name Iran in the movie Top Gun Maverick, but it's all Iran. Every bit of it is Iran. I was briefed on all that stuff years ago. And then he flies out in an F-14 Tomcat, and the Iranians are the last ones to fly the F-14 Tomcat. But never mind that. That's not important. So the big strikes and these bombing runs by the Israelis, apparently beautifully, artfully executed, and Iran in possession of nuclear weapons. A horrible, grave danger, not just to Israel, but to the world, and certainly to the United States of America, and certainly to Washington, D.C., and to New York, because this is the jihad. These are the Ayatollahs, born of a war crime, taking over the U.S. Embassy and holding hostages, and now nuclear weapons in their hands. And the Democrats helped, because they're the dumbest people on the planet, and they're not on our side. All right, now let me get to let's get some audio here, because this is kind of funny too. I want to start with soundbite number 1, because I was sharing with my friends at Newsmax last night on our text thread. Fun people, smart people, following the news very closely, and I was reminded of a movie from 1979 called Breaking Away. It's about bicycle racing in Indiana. And these teenage guys, high school guys, 1979, are hanging out in front of a store where they're just hanging out. And a cop shows up, police officer shows up. And and he's one of their brothers. And the police officer walking by the teenagers just greet 1979. And it went like this.
How you doing, guys? Well, we're a little disturbed by the developments in the Middle East, but other than that.
But other than that, and that's just to point out this has kind of been going on for a long time. And a young woman, texted me, "Is this World War III?" And I said, "Nah." My immediate response was, "Nah, NAH, nah, this is not World War III." And then I did continue texting a little bit said, this is the Middle East, and this is what happens in the Middle East from time to time, because it's the Middle East, and it's been like this for quite some time. 1979 movie Breaking Away. A little concerned about the developments in the Middle East, but other than that, yeah. So World War III, my friend said, and I actually sent ha 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 ha. Right? I said, nah, it's just the Middle East being the Middle East. this kind of thing happens from time to time. And I said, as long as Iran does not have functional nuclear weapons and effective ballistic missiles, then it's not World War III. But then I pointed out, the Obama administration, John Kerry, the Iran deal, the so-called JCPOA, the idiotically named Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. What a stupid name. And it was not a treaty because Barack Obama didn't believe in branches of government and separation of powers. And it wasn't going to go to Congress because nobody in Congress would have voted for it if they had tried to make it a treaty. But it was Obama and John Kerry and their terrible Iran deal. They made sure that Iran could continue to enrich uranium, that Iran could continue to spin centrifuges in the quest to enrich uranium, enough uranium to create a multitude of nuclear weapons. And Barack Obama and John Kerry allowed Iran to continue to advance their ballistic missile program and improve the capabilities of their ballistic missile program. So you give them nuclear warheads and ballistic missiles on which to mount them. And when they're testing them, they write death to Israel and death to the great Satan. That's the United States of America. The Democrat Party, Barack Obama, whose middle name is Hussein, coincidentally, largely responsible for the continuation of Iran's nuclear weapons program. And as our friend from Israel said a little while ago, Steve calling in from Jerusalem, who went through all of the excitement last night and more today and probably for weeks to come and perhaps even longer because Iran, I don't know if you've heard this, they're fanatical and quite remarkable stuff. My friend Matthew Foldy, also in Israel right now, in Jerusalem, and we were texting last night, and he, for part of the evening, headed to a shelter, a subterranean shelter, and he had just arrived in Israel hours before, maybe 24 hours, but he had just arrived in Israel. And we were texting, and he's like, hey, look what's going on now. Going back and forth. Remarkable stuff. Yeah, a little disturbed by the developments in the Middle East. But other than that, now President Trump, let's go back to President Trump, who visited Saudi Arabia May 13th of this year, May 13th, President Trump in Saudi Arabia. The Saudis don't want Iran to have an arsenal of nuclear weapons. The Jordanians, King Abdullah II, does not want Iran to have an arsenal of nuclear weapons. Certainly Israel, obviously, and it really is an existential. The Democrats like to pretend everything's an existential threat because they're mental dwarves, all of them, and their command of the English language is very limited. But President Trump, May 13th of this year in Saudi Arabia, on topic.
Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
That's in Saudi Arabia. Is sustained round of
That
applause.
said, Iran can have a much brighter future, but will never allow America and its allies to be threatened with terrorism or nuclear attack. The choice is theirs to make. We really want them to be a successful country. We want them to be a wonderful, safe, great country, but they cannot have a nuclear weapon. This is an offer that will not last forever. The time is right now for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait. Things are happening at a very fast pace. They're happening right here. They're happening at a very fast pace. So they have to make their move right now, one way or the other. Make your move.
And the Democrats, the news media, they said, oh, Trump is threatening to attack Iran with military force. Now the Democrats are defending Iran because they're anti-Jews, the Democrat Party. They're anti-Israel. They're pro-radical Islamic jihadi terrorists. They invited the Egyptian illegal alien into the United States that firebombed a group of pro-Jewish, pro-Israel protesters in Boulder, Colorado, of all places, setting fire to an 88-year-old Holocaust survivor. And the Democrats shrug and say, whatever, I'm going to get lunch. I'm going to Starbucks, the Democrat Party. When it comes to Father's Day, coming up real soon, I think it would be fair to say some things never change. Dads want steaks. We had 2 Omaha steaks for dinner at home last night, filet mignons. They were unbelievably delicious. They really were. We were commenting on how great they were. From USDA certified tender steaks to burgers and a whole lot more, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience for Dad on Father's Day. Guaranteed to secure your spot as Dad's favorite on Father's Day. Come on, kick your siblings to the curb. Shop omahasteaks.com and give Dad the legendary Heartland quality that he deserves. And right now, because we hang out together, you get an extra $35 off at checkout with the promo code PLANT. You know, growing up in Chicago, my neighbors got Omaha Steaks. We never got Omaha Steaks. I was envious. And now I get them delivered to my house. The fan favorite filet mignon, had two of them last night at my house, had earned the coveted distinction of USDA certified tender. Their all-new smash burgers are built for the grill. This Father's Day, give Dad the world's best steak experience with Omaha Steaks. All you have to do is go to omahasteaks.com, omahasteaks.com, and use my last name at checkout for an extra $35 off. That's omahasteaks.com, an extra $35 off. The promo code PLANT at checkout. See the Omaha Steaks site for details. Yes, sir. They really were ridiculously delicious. We kept commenting on how much they were, how delicious they were. I finished my best girl steak when she wasn't looking. Just kidding. She was looking. I didn't steal it from her. We've got more on Israel and the Islamic Jihad and the Democrat Party. And this idiot senator that attacked a woman cabinet secretary. And now he's complaining that the police that he assaulted were being mean to him. Democrat senators should probably all be in a penitentiary. What do you think?
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Hear that? That's another person discovering today's hepatitis C medicines have cure rates of 95% or higher, and some are just 1 pill daily. Hep C medicines are also covered by most health insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, so qualified patients may pay as little as $5 per copay. Stop waiting and get your Hep C cured. What a great idea! To learn more, visit treathepcnow.com.
Trip Planner by Expedia. You were made to have strong opinions about sand. We were made to help you and your friends find a place on the beach with a pool and a marina and a waterfall and a soaking tub. Expedia, made to travel.
Sponsored by Rumble. Want to join 59 million others who are tuning in to a fresh alternative to mainstream news and information that isn't delivered with an agenda? Enjoy your daily dose of happenings from a platform that fights to protect your free speech. Download the Rumble app from your Apple Play or Google Play Store today and choose from thousands of creators covering everything from financial markets to daily events and more. Choose an open internet and free expression. Choose rumble.com today.
Making sense of your world.
Common sense. Let's get back to common sense.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
Now that should give you a lot of cause for hope.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable pocket hose copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
With the American Express Platinum Card, you can unlock over $1,500 in value annually with statement credits on select purchases and other benefits. That means getting access to even more of your favorite things. More jet setting, more trend setting, and more resetting. And downward dog. The stage is set for you to do even more with the American Express Platinum Card. Learn more at americanexpress.com/US/explore-platinum. Terms apply.
Making sense of the border.
Homeland security is right there at the tippy top of American concerns.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon. You've got to be tough. News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news.
As a young adult at this point in your life, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what's next? What does my future hold? The thing is, there's no right answer, only your answer. Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring a fulfilling path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
WMAL, making sense of the border, because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Who remembers Alexander Vindman? Remember Alexander Vindman? A Democrat posing as a U.S. Army officer and Trump-hating saboteur should have been court-martialed for what he did to the commander-in-chief. He's a Democrat, communist. He's a Ukrainian American. I've got an update for you on him today. Attacking whom? Who is he attacking? I've got that coming up. Let's grab a quick phone call. Let's go to Doug, calling from Clifton, Virginia. Douglas, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, thank you for everything you do. I'm calling a response to your friend who asked, is this what the beginning of World War III looks like? This is actually what the prevention of World War III looks like. What World War III would look like is Kamala Harris winning, Russia being flush with oil money to continue the war against Ukraine, Iran being flush with money and continue with their nuclear ambitions, causing war and strife in the Middle East, China watching all of this, seeing how weak we are, our friends seeing how weak we are, and then they go into Taiwan. So that's war in Ukraine, Middle East, and in Taiwan. That's what World War III looks like. This shows America and its friends are strong and that will strengthen the backbone of those people who want to align with us preventing World War III.
Doug, you should have your own radio show.
Hey, I learned from the best. You're the best, Chris.
Thank you, Doug. That was very eloquently articulated and entirely correct.
This is the Chris Plant Show. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10:30. Good morning, I'm John Matthews. Israel's attack on Iran's nuclear program raises the potential for an all-out war between the two bitter adversaries. Iran's main nuclear enrichment facility was damaged. At least two of Iran's biggest military leaders were killed, along with a number of nuclear scientists. Israeli security officials say Mossad smuggled weapons into Iran ahead of the strikes. The attack could soon cost you money in terms of higher gas prices. Oil prices shot up more than 7%. And with Iran being one of the world's top oil producers, any escalated fighting could limit the flow and drive prices even higher. Kilmar Abrego Garcia will be in a Nashville courtroom in the next hour, asking a judge to allow him to return to his family in Maryland as he awaits trial for human trafficking. The El Salvador national returned to the U.S. last week by the Trump administration. The Supreme Court had ordered the administration to facilitate his return. Traffic and weather next.
With the American Express Platinum Card, you can unlock over $1,500 in value annually with statement credits on select purchases and other benefits. That means getting access to even more of your favorite things. More jet setting, more trend setting, and more resetting. And downward dog. The stage is set for you to do even more with the American Express Platinum Card. Learn more at americanexpress.com/us/explore-platinum. Terms apply.
In anticipation of tomorrow's Army Anniversary Parade, all the closures in effect downtown. If you must drive downtown, K Street will get you by east and westbound. The 3rd Street Tunnel will get you by north or southbound. The freeway also still works both ways. 95 in Virginia southbound on this Friday. You'll find it slow from the Prince William Parkway down to 234 Dumfries. After that, you're in good shape as you continue south. Northbound 95, a little heavy across the Occoquan. On the Beltway, inner loop, after the Clara Barton Parkway, the roadwork is in the right lane, delays up from Route 7. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Hot now, afternoon showers and thunderstorms later, and a high 89, 84 at Reagan National. John Matthews, WMAL News.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by shipping cheap parts around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Skip the tariff and snag yourself American-made clothing with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
Making a big purchase should come with confidence, not confusion. Car Gurus helps you cut through the noise because when it comes...
Well, I have to go. I'll be back later.